Pitfalls and Penguins is a group storytelling game where no one knows exactly what will happen next. Set in the optimistically named post-war era following a devastating conflict between Texas and Rome, the vampires who lost their rights in the previous war to end all wars 1,000 years ago have been granted citizenship for their contributions to the Roman war effort. One of them has decided to create the greatest movie of all time. It's time to make the bloody epic.
Lights.
Camera.
Inaction. It's the first day of shooting for the independent film the three of you have been hired to work on, and the director and his line producer are both missing. The owner of the estate that you're using, this whole map here is just a small corner of his estate. He has summoned you to meet him at his pool. You'll see that your three little player tokens are over there, while all these people are over here lounging in the sun, trying to take naps, or pissed off that the work isn't going the way it's supposed to be going. You guys are relaxing by the pool, waiting on yet another person who hasn't shown up yet. Do you guys want to take a second to introduce yourselves and your characters?
Sure. Any order you want us to do it in?
Let's start with Woke.
Okay.
Well, as he said, I'm Woat, and I'm playing Ricky Roberts, orc cataloger and sometimes grad student, and historical advisor by attrition.
Hi, I am Kat. I am playing Amanita Hawkbloom, Nita for short. I'm an elven agricultist. I just graduated from Elven University with a major in Enlightenment Studies with a specialization in pharmaceuticals. And I'm working for the producer or something like that. And I don't know, I just kind of do what they tell me and run where people tell me to run. I'm hoping that this is going to be good resume fodder so I can get into a good cult.
My name is Art, and I'm playing Rex the Penguin Hacker, and my character is the IT security analyst for the movie production.
Even though the movie has been underway for several months trying to get people cast and everything like that, this is the first day of actual shooting. Kat and Woat, or Ricky and Amanita, have both been on set for a few days, but Art, Rex, this is actually your first day on set. So you guys notice in the distance, you see this little red line I've made on the map?
Mm-hmm.
There are various gardeners hammering in stakes and hanging a rope, as well as little signs that say, "Film crew keep out." And as they do, the rest of the crew is kind of like looking at you guys lounging by the pool going, what's going on there? But suddenly, the doors of the sunroom open like magic. These have got to be the most expensive doors you've ever seen. And the owner of the estate, Bradley Lens and Camera, emerges. He's a tall, skinny imp. He's in excellent physical condition, wearing a very fine silk robe, which he just kind of tosses, and like in the air, you can't tell if he like had it turned into like an origami bird and it landed on the little chair next to him, or if that's something intrinsic to the robe, or maybe it was just the wind. It's a mystery. But before you know it, the robe is folded perfectly like a swan on the chair he walked past, and he has dove into the pool and resurfaced next to where you guys are lounging. You guys must be the non-union folks. Listen up, I'm about to offer you a lot of money. You see all that out there? You see that? You know what that is?
Film set?
Do you guys want to make a perception roll? Let's see if you can do any better. 20, okay. You guys all, including the guy who rolled a 3, which I believe was Ricky.
That's an 8 when you take into account my awareness.
Oh, I was just hoping you were like, that's an 8 because you can't really see the dice from this angle, and the 3 is a little squiggly, and the 8's a little squiggly, but okay.
All the numbers are squiggly.
So, all of you...
Not once.
All of you look out...
You didn't roll one.
You all look out across the estate. You see a variety of tents, trailers. There's even a sheep paddock or two. There's a few picnic pavilions that have been retrofitted to be the craft services tents, and you notice that one of the sheep paddocks is even open on one side. You don't know exactly what's up with that. You guys don't have copies of the script because nobody's seen the script supervisor either. This is a great first day of shooting, 3 hours in. Rex, you had a particularly good perception check. You notice this over here, you see that black die there with the 14?
Mm-hmm.
You see that seems to be some sort of large metal, like it's like a old school classic silver bullet trailer that's been retrofitted with treads. It doesn't seem to have any engines or whatever, but it looks like it could be towed throughout all sorts of various situations. You suspect that might be the security trailer you're supposed to get a key to on your first day, but you don't have access to it yet. Amanita, you notice that some of these trailers over here in the distance have like these really cool bars that run in parallel and never touch, and then all of a sudden they're perpendicular. And when you look at it sideways like that, you suspect there might be like animals or something that go in those, but you're not an expert.
With my elf eyes, I see something groovy.
Bradley lens and camera flips some hair out of his eyes as well as a little bit of water. The water does not turn into a swan, it just kind of falls back into the swimming pool. But he goes, "No! This is the most expensive vanity project the world has ever seen. The director wrote it herself. She has no idea what she's doing. Anyone who knows anything about film equipment, which is what I do, I know, and I rent film equipment, they always rent. People come to me, they spend $4 million and they rent about this much equipment. This person, no, she's crazy. She knows nothing about film. She comes to me and says, 'Hey, here's a list. I'd like to buy all of this.' So all of a sudden, a $4 million rental is roughly a $80 million purchase, okay? Now, keep in mind, I'm a man of principle. I stand by my 90-day return warranty, or guarantee. Nobody who buys something from me ever has to worry about me taking it back. But I will do everything I can to stop her from taking this stuff back to me. We're letting her shoot on my lawn, and we're going to make sure I've got all my friends, everybody I can, doing the best job they can within their boundaries, within the various unions. I hired my best lighting contacts. I've got my best costume people on all this. Everything. But there's going to be gaps. And that's where you three non-union folks come in. It's your job to make sure that no matter what happens with this film, with this massive, overfunded, underexperienced fiasco, that you make sure that production continues for 90 days. Or I lose $80 million. Because if you look out past all those trailers and past all those sheep paddocks, you'll see a lot of other estates, and I'd like to buy all of those. I figure I let people come in, ruin my lawn, they'll drive the property value down. That's step one. Step two is not getting $80 million in cash handed back to the person who just gave it to me.
Legit?
Okay.
You understand? You understand that this is important to me.
Oh yes, I grok that, sir.
If you can keep this production on track for 90 days, you will each take home $250,000.
Groovy.
Until then, you're mostly going to be paid experience.
Do you have any cult contacts?
I have people who have people, but they're not going to talk to you about this either.
Legit.
Okay. Now get out of here before the rest of the crew starts thinking that they can come over and hang out by my pool too. You understand? Get out there and film this bloody epic.
Alright, let's do it.
All right.
Okay.
Do you guys have any reactions as he goes back into the house?
How do you leave the swan towel?
No, he flipped. As he emerged from the pool, he just kind of grabbed it with one finger, flipped it up in the air, caught it, walks back in. It's no, sorry, no fancy stolen robe for you.
So the real question I have, and I'm going to roll for this,
Okay.
is this in fact the most expensive overfunded project ever filmed?
Oh, as a history check?
Yep, and that would be a 19.
Yes. Like, there's no question, based on what you know of film history in the universe that we're in, there have been epic films shot before, but nobody has tried to shoot it on multiple continents, and nobody has tried to use a vampire crew or creatures of the number or scale that are intended to be used here. This is literally a giant experiment that nobody would have attempted if they knew better.
Okay.
So, question. They were hammering stakes in around the pool. Is that going to be a problem for the vampires?
I'm pretty sure that the stakes have to be driven into the vampires and not the ground they're standing roughly in the vicinity of.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's legit.
So while you guys are all admiring the handiwork of the stakes being hammered in by the gardeners, one of the crew members just waddles right under the ropes. You recognize, you two recognize Kat, or Amanita and Ricky, that he's Coney the Penguin, the script supervisor, and he is waving and yelling at Kat, like for you guys to come over to him.
Oh, hey, bro, what's up?
Coney the Penguin looks at Amanita and says, "You're her assistant. Have you heard anything from Cecily? She's Sammy's assistant, and nobody's heard from either of them. The whole crew's been ready to shoot for hours, and Sammy hasn't even done the costume checking she was supposed to do hours ago."
Alright, question, just from my own observations. Y'all have made sure that she's just not like, I don't know, yelling at someone about something inconsequential?
Or, like, dead?
Well, most vampires are dead, but Coney is very patient, and so he's like, "We have considered the dead thing. We think that's likely, but you know what? Past that, I was gonna say, who of you has the sharpest eyes?
My awareness is
I have a +2.
I got a +5, so I think I technically...
+5 also.
Yeah.
Okay. So, this isn't particularly hard to see, but in the distance, so this over here is kind of the parking lot area, and these kind of represent various food trucks and like caterers that are loading into the craft services tent. So, coming along the road to the parking lot, you see a huge cloud of dust, and there's a shiny black vehicle speeding toward the lot. Looks halfway between a hearse and a rickshaw. I was going to say, does anybody... you know what, I'm just going to give this one to you. Assuming that you guys have particular good eyes and that you read newspapers, you recognize that that rickshaw is being pulled by a former Olympic long-distance medalist.
I'm going to go out on a limb here. I'm going to assume that that's our missing everything that, you know, shouldn't be in charge of production but is. I say pointing toward the cloud.
Yeah, the Coney just kind of like jumps up and like kicks his little penguin feet.
I catch him and hold him up so he can see.
Yeah. Yeah, he's like, "Oh, that's her!" And he starts waddling toward the parking lot as fast as he can.
I set him down once I realized that he's just waddling in midair.
And he turns around and yells at you, "Can you guys take care of the costume check?"
Sure.
We're
sure. On it, bro.
Okay.
You know who has the key to my trailer?
You actually know that you were told to report to Cecily Gregg Terrell,
Okay.
who is the same person that is Kat's boss. She's the line producer, and she handles a lot of the logistics.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Saw that.
Yes, you did. Okay.
Experience, please.
I just want to hand you.
So as soon as the penguin starts waddling off, I just kind of lean over. So what exactly are we supposed to do with the costume check?
I think we need to check the costumes. Let's go!
Yeah, you guys are very conveniently right near the costume tent, which is that number one, you know. So if you guys were looking for hints as to where you might go first, I figured I'd lay that out for you. When you arrive at the costume tent, you find that most of the crew is either playing cards, reading magazines, or has already wandered over to craft services to get lunch. There are two big garment racks in the middle of the space. One of them is just full of just every outfit that you could possibly need for a movie like this. And the other one is empty, but says, "Approved to shoot." The lead costumer, sharp and dangerous looking orc, whose name you can't quite remember, shouts your name. "Ricky Roberts!" She points at the rack. "Where the rabbit hail is Sammy? Last chance, we won't have time to get these onto the actors. Go take a look."
Oh boy, alright, let's see here. I go over to the rack. Let's see here. This... yeah, that works. That works.
She starts getting frustrated with your speech. She's like, "Have you never handled a hanger before?" She starts grabbing him, flipping him in front of you, front and back. Next one, front and back. Next one, front and back. Can you roll a knowledge check? Do you have anything relevant for this?
Besides history, I just have my knowledge as a cataloger.
Historical accuracy is the number one thing. You can't be expected to know sizing. That's her job.
Okay. It's going to be a 24.
Ooh, okay.
And
So-
I have knowledge cinematography, if that would help. If I can, like, assist him with, this won't look so good on screen, bro.
Okay, yeah, go ahead and roll 2.
That is a 15.
So Ricky pulls one shirt out and goes, these wool vampire shirts, no hems around the waist. They just hang down. Wrong.
What I really want to know is where the bell bottoms came from, because I'm really sure those shouldn't have gotten into the mix.
Indeed. Those are actually a naval garment that won't appear for several centuries.
Yeah, that and they look hideous, but that's beside the point. I say putting it back on the rack.
So you notice that the Dragon Rider outfits, all the leather armor should be cloth bound, not have leather strips binding it together.
Mm-hmm.
You notice that the illusionist robes shouldn't be silk because they actually walked around in boxers and projected the robes. The robes should be magical. So any sort of silk robe is just wrong.
Do we have someone to magic the robes onto them?
See, the thing is this wouldn't be a problem if it hadn't been for that whole... You don't remember the whole magic camera debacle that we got into with the...
Oh, does that mean we have to add it in post-processing? That's going to be really expensive. Oh wait, that's not a problem.
The bigger issue is that it's going to show up that they ain't magical unless we can find someone to magic them, and that's not something I know how to do.
It is not, but you guys actually do know that there are several experienced illusionists working on set who can take care of that. So basically, the costume person needs to make sure that whoever is pretending to be an illusionist, that actor, is wearing the proper shorts, not the proper robe. And the illusionist on set will project the robe onto. Amanita, you take one look at the necromancer's bell on his outfit, and you don't know anything about the historical accuracy of it, but you know that it looks really fake. It does not look metal. It looks like paper mache that's been like kind of spray painted lazily.
Is this metal? How did you make this look so fake while making it?
I'm pretty sure that is in fact not metal at all.
The costume lady just kind of shakes her head and goes, "Okay, that wasn't me. That was the props people. Those guys. I'll send it back to them. Okay, these are all good notes. Okay, clearly the collagen you guys did was good. I don't know why I had an accent earlier, but now I don't. But you know what? Okay, good.
The stress tends to do that sometimes, you know?
Yeah. So you get the impression that you've managed to impress this person. You've told her something about how to do her job without angering her or insulting her, which is a very good trait to have when you're working in a film production. But suddenly, you hear screaming from the direction of the parking lot. You remember the part earlier where I think Wout, you asked, "Are we sure that the director isn't somewhere else yelling at people?" You now know that the answer is no. She couldn't have been because we would have heard it for miles. Just you guys kind of wander out of the tent. And you see in the distance, the food trucks are unloading their food into the craft services tent. People either are queuing up to eat or they're stuffing their faces. Sammy has stormed out of her hearse. That's the name of the director. And she is screaming at the top of her non-functional vampire lungs. "What is going on, you lazy bums? It is time for work. We have to make a great movie now. What is all in your faces? You stop it right now." And some of the crew, they're just like shocked. And you see like Cecily Gregtero, the line producer, kind of like try to like make apologetic gestures. You can't hear what she's saying, but she's like trying to like clearly smooth over whatever's going on. She's like visibly embarrassed. Meanwhile, you see the crew and like they're just dumping their food into trash cans, throwing spoons. You know, they're really not thrilled about having their lunch interrupted.
Hey, Nita, just for the record, you have some of them there snacks handy in case we get hungry when we don't get to eat lunch today, right?
I just motion to my pockets, which are bulging with snack foods.
All I needed to make sure of.
In the distance, you notice, you get your first kind of, as she like storms toward you and past you, you get your first visual impression of Sammy Michaud. She is like a 6.5 foot tall, crazy, scraggly, vampire-haired woman. She has, if you guys could imagine what a utilikilt would be like, if it was like several sizes too big. So like if somebody had a utilikilt that went instead of their knees down to their ankles, but like also had a waist that was just as wide. Now Sammy, she's almost rail thin though, so she's got like a bunch of various like black cloth ropes and belts and stuff to like pull it tight around her. All the pockets of this dress are bulging with various things, various consistencies. She looks like a crazy person, okay?
I look down at my own pockets that are bulging with snacks, and I can't judge.
I am going to judge her if she complains about the lack of bell bottoms.
Mm-hmm. I put a lot of skill into judging.
Yes, because security people are famous for their time on the bench. Is there something?
No.
I was thinking,
There's nothing.
there's nothing
I mean,
there.
point of order, but as a security person, he does need to be able to judge threats.
Yes, there you go. Threat assessment is a crucial part of your job. Crucial.
Yeah, I have things to assess too.
Oh, good. So you can also assess property value later. That'll help.
We'll see if we can drop this guy's property value a little.
So Sammy storms past. Her hair is like kind of still like it looks almost wet. It's like dripping. Like there's flecks of hair dye color like on the back of her shirt. Like she clearly just has been dyeing her hair instead of coming to work. So good on her. Cecily is trailing and apologizing to everybody individually. She comes up to you three and goes, Amanita, thank goodness I found you. Can you show Rex to his trailer? Here's the key. Make sure that it meets his needs, that everything's there that he needs. Any problems? Bring them to me. Don't bring them to Sammy. Bad day to bring things to Sammy. You understand?
Yeah.
We don't need anything else on her plate this morning. She's already way late for makeup. Have you guys handled? Can you handle the costume check, Ricky?
Already handled it.
Okay. Thank you. Okay, that's kind of history, and you did it. We're good. Okay, so he's finished that. So she sees that like Sammy is now like starting to berate somebody else, and he goes, "Just you're good. Do it."
Keep her away from the bell bottoms!
So as you guys are between the costume tent and the security trailer, you notice that one of the gardeners who has completed his task of malleting in the stake to hold up the rope there has started to approach you. He kind of waves a little bit. Well, you recognize... Oh, go on.
I was going to say, y'all go on ahead. I'll make it look a little more natural than it otherwise might.
What are you trying to make look natural?
Well, I figure that the gardeners ain't exactly supposed to be talking to the film crew.
Well, he's like... that's the whole thing, is you're kind of between the trailer and the tent. So this is kind of the equivalent of like a back alley meeting.
Alright.
So you guys are already essentially kind of concealed from most angles.
Alright.
Well, you've been on site for several days, and you've noticed in the past that this guy is the laziest gardener. He's always walking around with like a wheelbarrow full of dirt and like reaching in and pulling out beers and stuff. So it is absolutely no surprise to you when he like just tries to reach into this wheelbarrow full of gravel and just punches the gravel really hard and like starts shaking his hand. He's clearly bloodied it. He gets a little trowel out from his belt and like scrapes off some of the gravel and pulls out some beer.
I just go ahead and cast Cure.
Okay. So,
Got you there, friend.
thanks, man. I was gonna say, if you guys, can you roll a perception check real quick?
No, I get it.
Rex, you notice when he's shaking his hand that like the watch he's wearing is a really nice watch. So he's just like, hey guys, look, I got the impression from your meeting earlier that you're the kind of people that can be bought